Imagine your life as a cup. If you look at the bottle or a cup of glass, there's a limit. If you can pour it up to the limit, that's amazing. But what if you start pouring to a limit and then you keep on doing that? Everything has a limit and you cannot cross that. So what happens when you are filled with immense amount of stress and you are filling yourself with responsibilities and you keep pouring yourself? You will have an outburst. And Allah Azza wa Jal commands us to take care of ourselves, as mentioned by the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Your body has a right over you. Even if you're facing so much amount of work or stress, try to control it to a limit so you're not outbursting. And you give your best and try to become the best version so you can do all that acts. So you can go out and do the community service. So you can help your children. So you can become what you want to achieve. So now we have many evidences when we try to understand the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in his life has given us many examples that Islam promotes fitness. The first example we can take is the narration that Rukana was a wrestler at that time and the Prophet ﷺ was just an average person. Even though he was fit, but he was able to flip him down. And he challenged and he eventually became Muslim. So it shows that Prophet was strong. That is a narration. Yes, alhamdulillah, it's an authentic one. As we all know, the Salah is the second pillar of Islam that connects to Allah Azza wa Jal through submission. During our Salah, we connect and we forget everything. We have to do that. Don't think about the worldly matters because it's going to take away the focus from the Salah. Exactly like that. Now take an example of Salah. People go into a situation called digital detox. The devices we have, they're supposed to avoid because they have been too much into it. The brain is not functioning properly. And there are many researches on that. It takes you away from Allah Azza wa Jal when you go too much into the worldly matters. And that is how we understand and that is how we take the analogy that Salah is going to keep you steadfast in every aspect because it reduces stress from your brain. The Prophet ﷺ included many natural foods in his diet. So now we are going to talk about specific 3 ones and we're also going to see what the hadith says and what the science is going to say about the same thing. Honey. The Prophet ﷺ said, honey is a remedy for every illness, narrated. What does science say? Honey has antibacterial and antioxidant properties, aiding wound healing and boosting immunity, from Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry. Going to dates, the Prophet ﷺ broke his fast with dates, emphasizing the nourishment. And now the science says dates are rich in fiber, potassium and natural sugars. And that is going to control providing insulin energy and digestive benefits. Milk. The Prophet ﷺ said there is nothing that suffices in the place of both food and drink except milk. He loved milk because it is a complete food. It has a lot of macronutrients all together. And the science says milk is a great source of calcium, vitamin D and protein, promoting bone health and muscle growth, from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition.
The Prophet's diet was all about moderation, as we all know, which aligns with the Quranic guidance on eating.
The Prophet ﷺ said, the son of Adam does not fill any vessel worse than his stomach. It is sufficient for the son of Adam to eat a few mouthfuls to keep him going. If he must do it, if he still wants to eat it, then a third of food, a third for drink, and a third for air. And that is eating in moderation. So one of the best ways to implement, again, is by following the best practices. The best practice is the practice by the Prophet ﷺ, who used to walk a lot, even though he had an option, because that kept him active. People, especially with diabetes or type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetic situation where they are seeing insulin resistance in their bodies, it is better for you to walk 10 to 15 minutes soon after your meal. When you feel sleepy and dizzy soon after the food, it is because the insulin spike. So going on a 10 to 15 minute walk is going to really help you, as per the study. The Quranic evidence on fasting. The Quran explicitly mentioned the spiritual and health benefits of fasting. Oh, you have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala said the Prophet ﷺ's sleep was the most upright sleep, the best. And the evidence on the sleep are the Prophet ﷺ disliked sleeping before Isha and talking after it, unless and it's really important. Sahih al-Bukhari. When he prayed the Fajr prayer, he would sit in the place where he had prayed until the sun rose. The Prophet ﷺ also recommended taking a midday nap, Taylullah. And he said, with the above references, that he slept for approximately 8 hours in total. So we understand that you can still lose weight if you're in a calorie restrictive diet, but yet if you don't sleep well, you're going to lose more muscle mass than fat compared to an average individual who sleeps more than 8 hours. And now we understand that Islam is a way of life. It is not just about just changing your physical aspect, but also your spiritual aspect combined, so you can get the benefits of the intention, at the same time gain the strength and the resilience that is required to build up and become the best version of yourself.